There's kids in, they had this Wayne's World type show. Their mom was going to kick them out of their basement because they were shooting their show in their basement. They had 50,000 people watching them, following them. And so they sent out a broadcast email that says, we're going to have to quit the show unless we find some advertisers. Within 2 hours, they had almost sold the next 6 months of advertising. And they did $500,000 their first year in advertising, 40,000 people on this show. And so they called mom and said, hey, we're gonna rent an office and shoot our studio in the office. And they still don't have a real job, which is kind of funny, I think. But you know, she went to kick them out, and they figured out a way. Their show, they figured out that they are more profitable than one episode of CSI, you know, in ratio, in dollars per advertising ratio. Yeah. So what's happening is people have really good filters, so you can't talk to each other, right? And that's why cold calling is fundamentally never going to work. If you're based on an intrusive medium, whether it's advertising, whether it's direct mail, whether it's cold calling, whether it's email that to people you don't know, to whether it's what else is there? What else is intrusive? Radio is intrusive. If it is intrusive, meaning you're not asking permission for me to stick this message in front of me, then it is fundamentally going to be dead as an advertising medium. And where everything else is going is to permission, which is one of the reasons networking is so much more important than it used to be, is because now what's a great way to get permission to talk to somebody else? It's by word of mouth and somebody you trust saying this is the person you should work with, right? So that's another reason that networking is now becoming so much more vastly important than it was. But what we're really talking about is gaining permission. And so there's mediums out there, and there's strategic things that you can do that are before somebody actually makes a transaction that gain permission, right? So the first thing I always say is that the easiest, to me, the baseline level of permission is the ability to add someone to your database. But honestly, that's probably even a lower level of permission is you might have somebody that follows your blog or that will follow you on Twitter that won't give you permission to be in their database. So that might even be a further reaching lower level of permission. We're trying to get the lowest level of permission first and then pull them towards us using pull marketing to get more and more permission. You know what I mean? To grow that relationship. Does that make sense? So first thing we got to do is start with database, and then we need a blog, and then we need to have, we need to be thinking about Twitter. Facebook, great level of low-level permission. Be
my friend.
Be my friend. Hey, be my friend. Yeah, I saw you here. Remember me from college? Be my friend. I am LinkedIn, little bit stronger level of permission because it's more business, right? Same thing with Plaxo, but low level of permission nonetheless. Smaller Indiana, sharing of ideas, low level of permission. Be my friend, same kind of thing. You have to leverage these assets because they feed your database and vice versa. And that is the lowest level of permission you're looking for. If you had to put a bunch of people in a room, the first, to come to an event that was showcasing your business, the best places for you to go, the database of people who already know you, and email them, mail them, do whatever. The people that follow you on your blog, the people that follow you on Twitter, the people that follow you on Facebook, the people that follow you on LinkedIn, yada, 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 yada. You know what I mean? So you've got to constantly be growing this to feed your pipe, okay? And then what we're trying to do is first thing I want you to do is I want to have permission in my database, and then I want to have permission to be visible to you, okay? So that means that you're going to pay attention sometimes to what I'm talking about. Could be on my blog, could be the video, like we do the buzz. It could be just comments on my board. I just want you to pay attention sometime. I want to be visible. The next level I'm looking for is I'm trying to be credible to you. Now, credible means now that I've read your blog a couple times, I may comment, right? I may post on your board. I may write you a recommendation on LinkedIn, right? But now I'm still getting closer to you, right? And I'm coming down your permission. Now, the next level I'm looking to is I'm looking for some level of face-to-face meeting. Now, I try to make this, one of the reasons that Rainmakers is designed to have a lot of events, because it's a hell of a lot easier to invite somebody to come to an event than it is to say, I'd like to write that quote for your deck next fall. You know what I mean? Because how are you going to maintain that relationship between now and next fall? I'll just put you in my tickler file and bug you again when you're not ready, right? I mean, that is
Right.
intrusive.
Constantly be touching the same person.
Yes, but it's much easier to take that relationship to a next level by invite them to a common need. And so one of the, what you've seen us do is like I'll endorse events and tell people, hey, you need to go to this. It's a good event. Like the Secrets of Millionaire Mind.
Right.
Or you need to go to this, Brian Tracy. It's a good event because there's a common need and it encourages us to have a face-to-face meeting. Okay, that has nothing to do with us selling each other, right? Then, what I'm looking for after the face-to-face meeting, it's a lot easier to say, after doing some strip lining, like they would tell you in Sandler, or talking to them, like, hey, what are you doing this year to grow your business? Nothing, blah, blah, blah. Well, I'd like to talk to you about a program I got going on. Do you think we could do maybe a one-on-one? I'm averaging a 40% increase in the clients I have. And now you're going from all this to this, which I would call the moment of truth. All right?
Moment of truth, the one-on-one's moment of truth?
Yeah, well, the one-on-one, you could build there could be a one-on-one that is us trying to market each other's business,
Right.
and that's in between the face-to-face meeting and the one-on-one, and then the moment of truth.
Okay.
But because the moment of truth, I don't make any bones about it. When I say to someone I'm going to have a meeting with them and we're going to talk, and I say at the end of that meeting you're going to cut me a check or you're going to tell me to go away or you're going to, we're going to agree that this makes sense. They know it's about selling, and I get that upfront contract. Does that make sense? But I can do that. I can do that, Jack, because I've done all this ahead of it.
Right.
I've already changed their mind of perception. I'm not showing up on their door saying I'm your business coach. They've seen it work
Right.
in these levels up here. Does that make sense? Then at this moment of truth, you're gonna ask for permission to be a customer. God forbid, cut me a check, right? And then after that, I'm gonna ask if you can refer me, because a lot of people stop there. And one of the most important things you can do is every month is touch your customers in some way and level and say, hey, can we ask you to refer me? Can you bring me some more business? Can we be vested partners in each other?
That'll happen either sale or no sale.
Yep. The highest level of permission for me is evangelism. When I can get a Chris Reed to go bring 10 guests, 10 members a month on because he believes so well in what we're doing because we've helped him do what he's doing, that's evangelism. And that is Chris doing more for us than we could individually, and we're doing more for Chris than he could do by himself. And that is the definition of win-win.